Hello, this is Stephen.
This is Anna.
And this is the Stephen and Anna Wood Podcast,
where we talk about family, God,
contemporary topics, and even pet peeves.
Unscripted,
Unbridled,
uncanny,
and we hardly ever know what we're talking about, but we hope you enjoy it as much as we do. Hope you all doing good tonight. We're just in the studio. I'm messing around on my tiny guitar.
the Yamaha.
Yamaha FG45. It's a
little parlor size.
It's a little parlor size, and it's the guitar I started off on. My daddy went to the music store a long time ago for my first musical instrument Christmas gift. I told him I wanted a guitar, and he went someplace, babe. I think like Target or.
Did y'all have Target?
No, we didn't have a Target.
Kmart.
Maybe it's a Kmart or something like that. And he was walking out to the car across the parking lot, and he started feeling bad. He's like, you know what? Nope.
Wait, did he buy a guitar?
He bought a little guitar, more like a toy guitar.
Like one of those first act guitars.
The appeasement gift, you know. Uh-huh. And he said, nope. You know what? If he's going to play, I'm going to give him a good opportunity to do it and do it right. So he went right back in the store, took the toy guitar back, and then he went to a real music store and got me a Yamaha FG45. And I tell you what, when I saw that, I got a picture of me somewhere on Christmas morning in my underwear, holding the guitar.
How old were you?
You know, that's debated right now. I say 5.5, 6 years old. I think my mom.
Well, you said it was for Christmas, right?
It's for Christmas, yeah. So I think my mom says I'm 6 years old when I got it, but that started it all. I started playing before I even had that. I had like a we call that we play with badminton. Yeah, badminton rack.
Oh, and you'd pretend to play guitar on it?
Pretend to play guitar on it.
That's cute.
With a bunch of different records. And I'm like, this will be a cinch when I get a real guitar. It's going to be a cinch. I will just take off on that like no tomorrow.
Well, you've been practicing.
Yeah,
with the racket.
Absolutely. No, but I loved it. I took off playing guitar. I had someone come and teach me, babe.
You did?
Yeah.
I don't think you ever told me that.
Yeah, one time they came, and they never came back.
What? Well,
we don't know to this day. I guess my personality was overwhelming for him or something.
You just never heard. He disappeared. He ghosted you.
He ghosted us. That was before ghosting was a trend.
Before it was cool.
Yeah, and he never came back.
You know, I gave that reminds me, when I was probably in my early 20s, I guess a dad I knew asked me to give guitar lessons to his like 8th grade daughter or something. And I was really intimidated because I was self-taught and didn't really feel like I knew what I was doing or how to teach somebody else how to do it. So I met with her for like a half an hour and I taught her a few chords, and I was kind of like, well, once you can learn to play those chords, you can play a bunch of songs. So I don't know that I really have any more for you.
Well, I had a book. That's the only thing I could go by after he didn't come back. He was trying to teach me by note as well. Maybe it was I just wasn't into the learning by note. I wanted to play by ear. And even then I had a pretty good ear. I didn't know that's what you call it, but I could play along with records and stuff that was simple. But I had a book that showed you the chords, and my dad said he would he said I would play and be satisfied for a little bit, and then a couple of months come around, I come in there, I'm just all frustrated, crying, and he'd encourage me and even pray for me and say, just don't give up, you're going to get better. And I'd go back in and learn some more chords and some different techniques, and he was always right.
Did nobody in your family complain?
Talking about this makes me kind of melancholy. So we should probably get off this subject.
Oh, that's not.
But
it's okay to be. It's okay to not be okay.
It's okay to show your feelings.
It's okay.
No, he was my hero. He big time encourager. And then
never complained. Nobody in your house complained that you didn't sound good and that they want you to stop. Because typically that's the thing, right? You get a little kid a musical instrument and they just sound terrible and everybody gets sick of it. And
yeah, my brother, but he's got issues, deep issues. No, he's a good guy.
Well, I would actually be concerned if neither your brother nor your sister complained, because that's kind of a sibling thing to do anyway.
I'll tell you what's cool about
make him stop.
Tell you what was cool about the Wood family house is that every one of us love music, and so that's probably the saving grace for any of us enjoying music and playing, is that everybody. I'm not saying that they'd all just huddled around when I started to sing. Please sing another one for us. We enjoyed that one. No, it was pretty cool because we all went to concerts, and but when my mom got her piano, she says it's for her Christmas. My mind is thinking it was for her birthday, but they rolled that thing in. Looked like a big old refrigerator to me. I was a little kid, and I like, wow, that thing looks pretty cool. Dad had an old 8-track player that had some Jerry Lee Lewis, CC, Creedence Clearwater, had Jimmy Swaggart. So Jimmy Swaggart was the one that stuck out the most as far as playing the piano and top end on banging it on the top end. So anyway, I'd set that up on top of the piano and try to mimic what I hear on those 8-tracks. And I would just take the ear that I had for music and just start picking out chords. And in a couple of years, I was playing from a church, babe.
That's incredible. Mm-hmm. Now, before your mom got her piano, had you tinkered around on the piano at your dad's church?
Well, my dad wasn't pastoring at that time.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So we went back then. They had music stores in the mall. And so they had these big old Lowry organs with, 100 buttons on it and lights and everything. So it was fascinating to see that kind of stuff. But I really wasn't drawn to it. But when the piano came in, it was there 24/7 for me to learn, for it to somewhat introduce itself to me. I'm like, I think I enjoy this better than guitar. I didn't lay the guitar down, but I focused on the piano. And ever since then, I've just been so rich, just millions coming in.
Well, that's how it is for musicians.
Yeah, musicians, it is not, you don't start playing guitar because you want to make a bunch of money. Maybe you want to meet a bunch of girls, but you don't really start playing guitar because you're going to be it's because it's the love of the music, I really do believe it's a calling for some people. I think some people it's a pastime. It's a hobby. It's, some people will come up to me and say, I bet you just love playing the piano sometimes. It's like therapy to you. And I've mentioned this to you in the past. It's not therapy to me because when I sit down and start playing, I'm kind of already in the zone to start arranging and writing, and so it's like it's never turned off. It can actually be. I think you know this. My brother will tell you too that it can be kind of stressful being with me in a recording session because it's not that I'm trying to be hard to get along with or mean or anything like that. I'm just so focused that humans in the room are just part of the session and not humans. That sounds I'm making myself sound pretty mean. I've had to apologize to my kids like Jonathan and Justin, after a session when they were growing up, teaching them how to play music, whatnot. I had to apologize, say, guys, I didn't really mean that. I just want you to be a good player. And they're like, Dad, I know. You just want to be, we're where we are today because of how you did. But, it's just so weird. I don't know. I'm a recovering perfectionist, though there's no such thing.
Wait, we
camouflage that with the word excellence, I just believe in excellence.
Achievement.
But, so how did you start out playing guitar and singing, babe?
Oh, well, I grew up in the church too. pretty much at church every time the doors were open, which included choir, children's choir, and then I got older and went to youth choir. And then even as a young adult, I sang in, the church choir. I loved it. But when I got to middle school, I had the opportunity to join the band in school, like everybody does. So I chose the trumpet for my instrument. So that was my first foray into playing an instrument.
Well, you got the lips for them. Well, for it, not for them.
It takes a workout. So I switched to tuba. Then partway through middle school, I switched from trumpet to tuba, and the tuba.
That's where you lost all your friends, right?
I didn't really have all that many friends. I wasn't all that interested in
Well,
that.
we talked about this. You're like me, where we weren't necessarily popular, but everyone knew us and liked us. But
Well,
we weren't.
you were at a much bigger school than I was at a school where everybody knew everybody. Nobody could pass under the radar not being known to some level. But
Well, my ninth grade I was, but 10th on to 12th, I think we had 87 people in our high school graduating class.
87? Mm-hmm. Oh.
87, 88, or something like that.
Well, I'm sure everybody did know you.
I got best dressed and most talented.
That is not surprising.
Well, the best dressed part's not very difficult because it was a pretty country town, and I was dressing like I was on an episode of Miami Vice.
I got most likely to succeed and best smile.
Oh, I can see that. Everybody starts somewhere, babe.
It's fascinating.
So fascinating.
Well, I quit playing tuba, and I didn't finish my music history. I switched to tuba, but I also was the student assistant in the percussion class. So I really fell in love with playing drums. Uh-huh. And so I would set up a drum set in my bedroom with my textbooks. And my brother did play in the marching band playing snare. So I would use his practice pad and my textbooks, and I would use pieces of paper for the cymbals. And I'd play with Beatles songs because the drums are pretty simple.
I wish you had some videotape of that.
But then when I got to high school, I told the band director I wanted to switch to percussion, and he said no. And I said, well, then I'm going to quit. And he was like, okay.
I was in jazz band when I was in middle school. I was playing bass guitar.
I was in jazz band playing bass on my tuba because I wouldn't buy a bass guitar.
That was the year you had no boyfriends.
Like every year. No, listen.
Yeah, she's pretty, man. But dude, she plays tuba.
Tuba's awesome. I should have switched to accordion.
What's funny about the whole thing is that sometimes in life there's perfect timing for your calling or leading you in the path that you should go. Like, for instance, I raced motorcycles, I was in football, and I was different things. And then just something happened where the whole motorcycle thing went out. When I say motorcycle, I really mean a mini bike. And I got first place most of the time. And the reason I got first place most of the time is because a lot of the times there was no one else competing against me. Yeah. So,
strategy.
Yeah. So I would flatten their tires. There's kids around my neighborhood. I flatten their mom and dad's tires. I'm kidding with you.
Naturally.
I did do that one time, though. So when I was a kid, right on purpose, yeah. So there was someone that lived next door to us. Mom and dad said they were druggies.
Oh, Lord.
That was a big word back then, druggies. And so I'm like, I don't like drugs. I was a little kid thinking, I don't like druggies.
I don't like drugs.
I don't like drugs and druggies. So I thought the best way to get them is go flatten his tire.
Then they'll quit using drugs.
So I'm over there in his driveway, flatten his tire, letting all the air out of it, and a cop comes right by. He goes, boy, what are you doing? And I immediately started crying. And he said, where you live? And I said, over there, right next door. He goes, come on over here. He pulled his car in over there. And he says, are you Barb Wood's son? And he knew my mom some way, somehow. And so he let me off. I didn't have to do any time for it. But I didn't do it.
But you didn't do that again.
That was actually a good time, a good age to get caught doing something like that by the police and realize, this could be a bad choice of a career. So it's really cool and interesting to see how paths that you go down that leads you and forces you down this certain path. It's not that you were going unwillingly, but you were going in the direction that I call it my faith in God, that he's leading me this direction to play music and to do it for a living too. It's really interesting though, how some people have a ton of options and music's just part of it. For me, it was, sure, I could have done other things, but I may have loved music so much that I thought that it was my only option. So that's one way of looking at it.
Well, you were probably had a little bit of tunnel vision.
Not me, babe. You know me. I'm not tunnel vision.
I think you were a prodigy.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for that compliment.
Well, I'm take it how you will. You can take it as a compliment.
That's a joke. That's a joke.
Truly, not that many people at the age of 5 fall in love with something that then can become a career. 5-year-olds might know the name. Like today, I was talking to another mom. She said her little boy knows the name of every construction piece of construction equipment, excavator, and all the things. And she's like, I don't even know what these things are, but he knows the name of every single one of them. Well, okay, maybe he'll grow up to be a contractor, or maybe it's just a little fixation he has, but not very many people are like you where you stick with it.
There's a guy a friend of mine in Nashville. He's been doing full-time gospel music. It's the Freemans. His name's Daryl Freeman, and he told me one time that just really made an impact on me. I asked him a question. I said, Daryl, what would you think your claim to fame is? Not really fame as in fame and fortune, but if you had one key of advice for someone to be successful, what would it be? And he's like, man, he said, just being faithful, man. Sticking with it. Don't give up.
It sounds so simple.
It sounds simple, but what he's saying is pay no attention to the naysayers, to your own emotions. Many times you want to give up, and you got good reasons to give up. But he's like, just keep going, man. Mm-hmm. Just keep doing. Down deep what you should be doing. And man, that was just, I was waiting for some, business-minded answer from him. Well, what we do is we do this right here. But he was just like, just stay faithful, man. And they went through some rough times during COVID. A lot of musicians went through some tough times during COVID. And they're still out there today. A lot of people dropped off the map in every kind of genre of music, not just gospel. Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see tough times. What's that? We talking about that? What's that saying? Tough times bring. No, you know what it is?
Yes. Hard times make strong men, make weak times. No. Hard times make strong men, make good times, make weak men, make. Wait.
I think the only thing I got from that was make.
Wait.
And then you make.
Times,
and you put it in the oven.
Hard times make strong men, make good times, make weak men, make hard times. Yeah, that's what it is.
The essence of that meaning is basically a lot of times when you have it real good, you're weak.
You get lazy.
You get lazy. You're a weak person. Mm-hmm. So tough times will bring out, tough times will bring the real men and women to the top. But you know what we got to give up on? This podcast.
I think so. We're belaboring it.
No. No, we're toward the end here. And we just want to say thank you guys for showing up again and hearing us. We talked about some things that mostly about music, but I just want to encourage you, don't give up. If there's a dream you have, if there's something that's on your mind for 2024 that you say, you know what, this year I'm going to do it. I also say this, there's nothing magical about 2024. It's no different than 2023. Now you can be in a better position, if you're incarcerated, you can't go out and start your business, but when you get out, you can. But my point, if you have all the options that you can get out there and do what you want to do, then do it and don't give up. Don't look back.
Keep on keeping on.
Be faithful. Well, we love you guys. We'll talk to you another time, another day.
Another hour.
On the Stephen and
Anna Wood
podcast. Bye.